Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm of course your host, Droodles, Blitz, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the E100. This is the Tier 10 German behemoth of a heavy tank, and in update 9.1, it's getting quite a massive rework. It's gaining 20mm on the turret front. Now, on paper, that doesn't sound like a big amount, until you realize that almost all mediums running calibrated barely have enough penetration to cut through the E100's turret. And that means if you're angling it, especially with that added on 20mm, there's no way you are ever going to cut through the turret with a medium tank with any premium ammunition, even with calibrated on. That's also the same for people that love to run gun ram or on heavies. It is going to become an increasingly hard fact to penetrate the enemy E100 turret. If we take a look on Armor Inspector, when we take a look at the E100 on flat ground, its turret is around 290mm of effective armor, and that's because there's a slight slant on the turret. It's actually 250mm if we do a bird's eye view, as you can see from a flat angle, but yeah, obviously angles increase armor effectiveness, so when we take a look at it from a leopard's point of view, aiming up on the vehicle, you need about 290mm of penetration. That's a 16% increase of effectiveness just because of the angle. And that also means when we add on this 20mm of extra armor, it's also going to add on another 20% from that, which is great. So when we take a look at the 100 on flat, you can see as soon as you start to angle the turret, if you're running rammer on your Leopard 1 or any tier 10 medium, you're going to have a really hard time penetrating the E100 turret because you don't have enough pen. If you load Cali, however, it does become a lot easier. There are still points like this where it's red on both sides, but it's very hard to get that exact angle down because you can see if there's a slight deviation on either side, you can very easily penetrate the tank. That might not be the case in the future. If we take a look at the E100, as we said, about 290mm of effective armor right now, and we were to pull up the calculator, so it's 250, but because we're adding on an extra 20mm, it's now 270. And the reason it's 20% increase is I'm also counting that we're going to run enhanced armor on this vehicle next update, so it's 270 multiplied by 1.2. And the effective armor of the E100 on flat ground is going to be 324mm thick. That means from the 289 here, if we just slightly turn the turret like that, that is really all you'd need at an angle like this. That's already going to be impenetrable for any tier 10 medium running calibrated shells next update. I might stop running Cali on a lot of my mediums. One of the biggest arguments I always had was that for the Jagdpanzer and the E100, you could penetrate the turret cheeks, but that doesn't seem like it's going to be the case anymore, as with enhanced armor, the E100 is going to be one hard vehicle to penetrate. With enhanced, you can already see that it's hard to penetrate an E100 turret with Cali on. It's going to be a much easier angle to bounce shells with this vehicle, but you still do got to realize the lower plate is not changing its overall effectiveness, so it'll still be a very easy penetration for almost any vehicle in the game. Now, the E100 is not only getting this turret armor buff, but it's also gaining 5 degrees of traverse speed, which is actually a very large amount. I don't know why it's gaining that, but it's gaining traverse speed, it's gaining frontal armor, but it's losing a bit of its accuracy. While the E100 may be gaining traverse speed and frontal protection, it is also losing damage per minute and accuracy, which are, in my opinion, just as equally important. Now, the accuracy nerf isn't huge, but it will affect the tank. Your accuracy is going from about an IS-7 gun currently to a 60 TP gun. That means you're really going to have to aim in, or a lot of your shells are going to dunk into the dirt and go really nowhere. The VK-72 is not getting a dispersion nerf, so you might want to go for the VK-72 in the future because it's going to be a better gun. As well, the E100 is losing 150 DPM because its reload is getting increased by 1 second, making it pretty similar to the overall damage per minute of the VK-7201K. We can see that in 9.1, this vehicle is going to have 2330 DPM. If we close that version and we open up my other version, you'll notice that, yeah, I've got 2466 with Cali on my normal game right now, 9.0. That's a pretty big difference, and that will definitely affect your gameplay and playstyle in general in the E100. If we compare that to the VK7201K with calibrated, you have around 2263 DPM. So you'll still have a bit more, but you do got to realize that the VK72 has better dispersion at 0.367. It's got a better aiming time than the E100. Yeah, and now that the VK72 has tungsten as well, oh boy, the options are very different now. It's either get a more mobile, more frontally armored E100 at the drawback of less DPM, less accuracy, or you can have the VK72. Now, personally, I still think I might enjoy the E100 more after this update. With the additional armor and protection the E100 is gaining frontally, plus its 5 degrees of traverse speed buff, I really feel like this vehicle is just going to be more enjoyable than the VK72. On a map like Dead Rail, which we are on right now, the E100 is just awful, because you have no armor to go haul down on the most important part of the map, which is the hill for at least a heavy, which means that in this situation, it's pretty poor for me, where compared to if I was in a VK72, I could easily haul down there. But next update, when you're using your gun depression, if you angle the tank correctly on that hill, I actually think you can probably do a pretty decent job there. Now, the bad news is that my one Leopard is trying to hold against 2 vehicles. At least we have an E3 pushing over there, which should hopefully be able to support the dude, but yeah, that's going to be a bit of a tricky flank for our team to win. While that's going on, I'm going to be pushing into base B, which is always a base I like going to on this map because it just gives you, first of all, nice shots into vehicles like the 57 right there, but as well, it gives you protection from the tank destroyers, which usually sit in the back, as you can see. So yeah, I really enjoy base B on this map. Definitely, in my opinion, one of the best overall positions in this whole area. So what we're going to do is aim in on the rear of the C100 and fire. There you go. Nice tap for 670. And now we're going to pull up to this building. That way I also cannot be shot by what most likely was the 183 firing a Hess shell at my vehicle. So the C100 off to the side, we're just going to side scrape at because I know that they might have TDs back there as well. Don't want to be shot by the tank destroyer, so, oh, come on, gun. That was unfortunate. Flew right into his turret instead of actually hitting where I wanted it to. Now, we do have the Leopard one off to the side as well, but I can't really angle to everything, can I? So what we're going to do right now is aim in on the C100 once again, and fire. There you go. That was a better shot, and it high rolled, so I can't really complain overall. Unfortunately, our Leopard did die, but at least because the enemy Leopard's so low on health at this point, it's not too bad. And there you go. E3 actually did his job finishing off the enemy Leopard 1. Okay, so what that means in this current moment is that I can just start pushing up. They've got 3 tank destroyers. We don't know where all of them are, but I do know where at least the 183 is. There he is. Hello, 183. And there's a nice tap right into his vehicle. Let's back on the cover, and he doesn't even get the shell off into me. This is where the alpha's great. Just being able to slap somebody for 600, reload without even bleeding. I do love the capabilities of this tank. It might be slow, it might be cumbersome, but it doesn't really matter. If you understand where to position the tank, just like any other vehicle in the game, you will definitely do your job just fine. So there's the Grill 15, who was AFK. We're going to load in an HE shell on the side of his tank, and fire. Not the highest of rolls, but you know what? I'll take a 700 damage shot. Not bad at all. The Grill is no longer worth my shell, as we can also go for a vehicle like this T110E4 off to the side, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to load an HE, and ooh, 949. That's gotta hurt you, dude. And as you can see again, it doesn't even matter if I get shot. I've got so many hit points on this tank that I can just chill here. I can lose all my health, and then I can still have enough time to turn my vehicle, get a big old slap into the rear of that T110E4, and there you have it. So this is a pretty easy dub in the E100. I played about, I don't know, 5 games in the tank today just to get a general overview of how the tank performs before we obviously get the update. I would say within the next 2 or 3 weeks. And not bad at all performance from the E100. I was able to only lose 1 battle today and go, I think, around 3,500 average damage. So definitely a capable tank. Definitely one that you should fear on the battlefield next update. But I guess we'll have to see how it comes out in the overall grand scheme of things. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.